Juliana Kaggwa, the Executive Director, Uganda Tourism Board. Could you tell us how has Ebola affected the tourism sector since the outbreak was announced in Uganda?
Well, Sudhir, we are struggling as a tourism sector. And fortunately for us, it came at a time when we are starting the busiest season of the year, which is anything between May, June, running through to September. And so we're feeling it. Of course, not every tourist is as confident as the next one. Some people, of course, are not will not be derailed because the risk is very minimal, as you know. The minimal risk I'm describing is, I think it's less than 19 or thereabouts. Infections reported to date. It's maybe 2 deaths that are on record. You can imagine in a span of a month or 1.5 months, only 2 fatalities, of which are not originally Ugandan. So because of the cross-border, issue, and a lot of our brothers and sisters from Congo coming through, we've lost reservations. The hotels are feeling it. There's a couple of cancellations that have come through. The tour operators themselves, and some of these holidays, some of these excursions were booked up to 2 years ago. People deposited their money, international travelers, and then this news broke. So I'm not going to lie, it's not the best way to be. However, with more information coming through and less of the misinformation that's been going around, I think the numbers have been being reported and coupled with the DRC numbers, which in itself creates more of a crisis than what is really on the ground. So the work we're doing really is to reassure, to rebuild confidence in our travelers. Those who haven't cancelled altogether have at least postponed. And that's why, we're, as a tourism sector, we're just holding our breaths and, just trying to wait it out so that, in the shortest amount of time possible, we can resume business as usual.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of bookings,
Yes.
those who have maybe postponed or cancelled,
Yes.
how many could they be?
I can't put a real figure on it because we're still doing the tallying.
10 out of 10
researchers,
so
no,
far?
impossible. It's not 10 out of 10. Even if you go to Murchison right now, there's people there. There are travelers. Bwindi over the weekend was, I think it was Rushaga. I stand to be corrected. One of those locations was fully, occupancy should be 80% upwards. The gorilla permits, obviously, those ones should have sold out by now, which they had. But of course, because of the reservation, the cancellations have been coming through, or the postponements. So I'm not going to put a figure on it. But trust me when I say that we're feeling the impact. A lot of the tour operators and hoteliers have already come together and mobilized to see how we climb out of this current crisis. We are in the process of seeking or of putting together a recovery plan already.
When you look at the national parks,
Yes.
how busy are they as we speak, especially those that are close to, like Congo?
Not as busy as they should be, Sudhir. And if this was any other time in the year, maybe February, maybe October, November, when it's typically off-peak, perhaps those are the numbers we are seeing now, instead of the typical peak season numbers where even the airport would have been buzzing by now with arrivals, whether from within Africa or outside of Africa. So we're nowhere where we should be. That said, we were having a relatively great year. Again, very proud of the numbers. We registered at, I think, about 1.6 million arrivals in the last report, up from 1.3 million arrivals in the last fiscal planning year, which means we've experienced a growth of 19.7% just in the span of these 12 months. And so we were looking for these next 12 to 18 months to really be our tipping point. This could have been our year, should have been, and still might be, depending on how we recover, our year to hit, some numbers that we've never seen before. December, January, we had the highest December, Jan we've ever had, and yet we had thought the impact of the election season. You know, there would be a slowdown.
Thank you so much for according us your time, and wish you the best in your tenure.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I hope I see you more. I want to see more and more of the fourth estate invested in this sector, because it's the one going to deliver this country.